I am so glad you asked. If you don't know what Regan cheese is, then you're in for a treat. I'll link some images. I'll put some images up in a minute here, and then I'll also give you some articles to read to understand what happened. But let's get to those. So yes, when I say Reagan cheese, I've literally made Reagan cheese. Now, I wasn't born in the 1970s, but the lasting effects of what happened under Reagan for this went well into the 80s, into the 90s. I know because a lot of times that we had to get food assistance, it wasn't like an EBT card or food stamps. You would literally go to a designated location. I'm blurry on this because I was very young. I'll have to ask my parents, but I think it was Salvation Army was distributing this. So you could go there and get a kit that was basically a box of these different packages, and I'll show you what the cheese looks like. It would come in boxes like this. There's butter there. There's I think there's powdered milk. I can't see right here clearly, but majority of that is cheese because there was a dairy issue, and this was Reagan's solution was to provide cheap cheese out. Articles are going to look for a title like "How the U.S. Ended Up with Warehouses Full of Government Cheese," something to that effect. Look for reputable sources. Stay away from like shady conspiracy theory places, but yeah, they had tons of this cheese, and it was packaged up as part of food assistance, so you could almost always get one of these blocks. It had the same consistency as Velveeta cheese product, but it was actual real cheese, so the consistency was slightly different. Grilled cheese sandwiches I had as a kid were made from this cheese, and they came in boxes. Let me move myself out of the way. They came in these really simple cardboard boxes. You would get one per food pickup you get. Holidays, you usually got a little more, and they would often have suggestions for what to cook with these. So you could make a lot of macaroni and cheese. Again, you know, adding this to a lot of products made things super cheap and simple. You know, some casseroles, add some potatoes in. I mean, you can understand kind of the implications for it, but yeah, it was something that was out that you got if you had to get assistance. A lot of people never had the joy of tasting this. Either you liked it or you hated it. That was it. There was no in between. Some people swore by it. They'd put it on everything. I think some people in my family put it on just regular sandwiches. I never could. I don't like the consistency of cheese very much melted. My partner always complains to me that I'm weird because I like, you know, cheese but not melted. I just don't. I think it's because of this, most likely. That may be why. But yeah, similar to that. If you had not many people have eaten MREs either. I'm not military, but I've had family that was military, and I've known a lot of people who are military, and they would say that the Reagan cheese was kind of like what was in MREs at some point, and I would agree with that. But yeah, it's either something you had or you didn't. I don't even know that you can get this anymore. Obviously, if it's in a box like this, you don't want to eat it because it's going to be no good. But I think the closest you're going to get is like the Velveeta cheese, but somehow worse or better, depending on your opinion. Again, you either loved it or you hated it. There was really no in between. It's not like powdered milk, you know, where like with powdered milk, you hate it or you hate it. That's pretty much it. So anyway, yeah. Does anybody else remember it? Do you have any pictures? Maybe does anybody have any pictures that may say this that they had Reagan cheese, or you had one of the assembled boxed dinners that had. The boxes all looked like this, by the way, when you got your Thanksgiving dinner. Your turkey, I think, was even in a box. So if you guys are familiar with that, if you have pictures, feel free to make a video and post them. Or if you want, I can do a video showing that. I just don't have any images. We didn't take a lot of pictures at that time. So anyway, guys.